more games to play, but how would you describe the feeling after the official elimination comes tonight from the playoffs?
I don't know. I mean, it's obviously disappointing on many levels, but ain't much you can do about it at this point.
Russ, you felt like you guys were kind of always fighting something, obviously injuries to lineups. Like Mike said, obviously it's not over yet, but at this point, when you look back, like what was the experience like of trying to kind of constantly battle through something new seemingly every other day?
I honestly, me personally, it's a situation that I was just blessed to be able to be in. Learned a lot about a lot of different things myself, and I was able to just stay real faithful and true to what I believe in, regardless of what was ever thrown, our way, my way, and continue to just fight through it regardless of, the results.
What did you learn about yourself?
That I'm covered. And what I mean by that is that I am super blessed and grateful. Regardless of whatever thrown my way, I'm covered by a huge head of protection of faith. And no matter what's happening to throw my way, I can always prevail and get through it.
Russ, obviously, for the last week or two, you guys have been facing these high leverage, high stakes games and been talking about must wins for the last couple games. Did you feel like the group had belief in each of those games, or has that been kind of diminishing with each loss?
I believe, once guys get prepared for the game, I would hope to believe that everybody felt we had a chance. But I can't really speak for everybody's preparation or how they feel about, if they felt we had a real chance.
Did you?
Always. I never give in, never quit. It's not in my personality, regardless of what's happening. Play to the end and fight regardless of what's going on.
Russ, even though we're in game 79, you add up the games that you, Anthony, and LeBron were able to play together. It's only 21.
Yeah.
You want a chance to grow that number next season and see what this group could do with help.
Yeah, I mean, that's the plan, but, nothing is promised. You kind of got to take one day at a time each day. And like I said, all season long, you got to play the cards you dealt. Yes, we want to be able to see what that looks like, what that entails over the course of it, 82 game season, but we're not sure if that's guaranteed either. So, I just hope that we have a chance to be able to do so in the future.
Russ, where do you think this season kind of went wrong? Is there a moment that stands out to you where you smiling? I mean, is it one? Is it a lot? Is there something that stands in your mind where it's like, this isn't going to work this year?
No, not one thing. There's so many different things that happen, but I personally, I don't like to point fingers or blame anybody. I just only can control myself and control what I'm able to do in my actions. So that's all I can speak on.
To follow up on that, I know you view things from a very kind of insular way and try not to listen to other stuff, not to stuff. But if you can take a step back from it and you think about all the things that did go wrong for this team this year, how does that sort of sit with you? I mean, the injuries, the COVID outbreak, the losing streaks, all of that stuff that kind of compounded on each other sort of as the days added up. How does that sit with you?
Like I just said, you just asked the question in a different way, but I'm gonna give you the same answer. Good try though. Let's go.
With these 3 remaining games, Russ, what's your personal plan and I don't know, I guess most of the teams you played on your career made the playoffs, but
Yeah.
what's it like making a march like that when there's no postseason to play for?
I don't know. It's different, you know. At least different for me, and I haven't even thought that far ahead yet, you know. But I'll think about it and figure out what the plan is moving forward.
No questions for us. Thank you.
I would say this was a season that we just didn't get it done. We had the tools. Some things was out of our control. Some things that we could control. Some things we couldn't. And it's nothing else more than we didn't get it done. I mean, you can't make no excuses about it. We just didn't get it done.
Bill?
No, basically since that game in New Orleans, you guys have been in, back against the wall, super high leverage games. And what is internally, how do you feel like psychologically you guys as a group kind of responded to that pressure? I mean, obviously the wins aren't there, but what was it like to be in that locker room as it was getting more and more tense?
Yeah, I mean, we was there. I mean, we stayed together. You didn't see much of people just straying away from each other. It's weird. The fact that we knew our backs was against the wall. And I think in situations like this, seasons like this, it's easy for teams to kind of just go their own way and players go their own way when things get thick and backs against the wall. So again, I didn't see none of that. I didn't experience none of that in the locker room, in practice, on the bus, on the plane, none of that. Guys were still, locked in and understanding what was at stake. Now the wins didn't amount to, it didn't add up to how we was feeling and what we knew. So then again, we didn't get it done, man. It's just not. That's all I can say. We didn't get it done.
Melo, you're talking about the team stayed together with the backs against the wall, but obviously did not perform with your backs against the wall. What was the missing piece in your opinion, if it wasn't?
Yeah, I don't want to get into that. I don't, it's something that I would have to look at the whole season in totality. Reflect on it, think about it, look at it. I don't have those answers immediately right now. Maybe in next week or something, I'll have that for you. But at this very moment, I don't have those answers.
Yeah. And how do you envision the last three games playing out for you, and how would you like the team kind of play out the last three games?
Oh no, we're gonna play. I mean, I don't know who's gonna play, but we going out there to play. We're going out there to compete. We're gonna finish what we started, and that's the only way I could look at it, and I can approach it.
Dang.
Melo, you kind of just touched on this a second ago, but like, not over the course of an 82-game season, right? Like the goal is to stay as locked in the moment as possible and not think about big picture stuff. But it felt like this team was facing big picture questions basically since the first day of training camp, and a lot of them kind of never got answered.
Yeah.
Was there a weight to that, do you think, over the course of the year, that sort of like the questions never really changed, that the sort of tone of stuff in terms of what you guys were trying to figure out was always kind of basically the same for 50, 60 games or something like that?
Yeah, well, the questions was going to come regardless. I mean, the questions going to come. If you look at our roster, those questions was going to be there. And questions about, what we got to do to get it done. Can we get it done? Will we get it done? The pressure was always there. It's just how you respond to that pressure. The pressure of this team being put together, that was pressure, right? So how we was going to respond to that. And again, it comes back to not getting it done for whatever reason. We didn't get it done. I don't have one reason over another. We just didn't get it done.
Okay.
One of the elements of this team was so many faces together for the first time. And even 82 games wouldn't necessarily be a ton of time for all those elements to try to fit. Have there been conversations amongst guys in that locker room about like, let's try to run this back. Let's try to reconfigure and run this back.
Yeah, I know. It's too soon for that. It's you know, if you start thinking like that, then you're already defeated. And when you still have games going on and you still got preparation that you have to take care of, and it's hard to think like that. It's easy to think like that, but it's also it's hard to think like that when you still have games going on. You still in the, we was in the battle, our backs up against the wall. So to be thinking about next year or next season or whatever other than getting it done right now, I think that would be selfish for anybody to do that.
Gentleman in the back.
You said that some things you could control, some things were out of your control.
Mhm.
So the injuries were out of your control. But what are some of the things that you as a team could have controlled that might have made a difference?
Well, we was out there once playing, so we control that. The way that we play, how hard we play, the energy, the effort, consistency. Those are things that we can control as players. Now, injuries and things like that, you can't account for. You can't, that part is what it is. But things that we can control is the actual basketball part of this.
Last question, Andy Kamenetsky on Zone.
And Mel, you had mentioned that there's an inherent pressure that just comes with a team being built like this, with the type of players that you guys have, those resumes. Even given the amount of experience that you guys have collectively and everything you guys have been through in your careers, like, how much do you guys, I guess, sort of feel that pressure? Or, I mean, is it something that you can sense even with everything you've been through in your career?
Honestly, me personally, it's hard for me to feel it, because I try not to indulge in the day-to-day hoopla of it. I've been around too long to allow myself to, emotionally to be up and down during the season every single day after every game. I deal with things the way I deal with it on my time in my own space. But other than that, man, it's hard to. I don't think nobody's thinking about that. I don't think nobody was giving up. I don't think nobody was thinking about what could be next season. Some people deal with pressure differently. I mean, we can't run from the fact that there was a lot of expectations for us this season. So you can't run away from that. But me personally, as far as the pressure goes, it's there. It was there the minute that this team put together. So it was just a matter of us embracing that pressure. Now, everybody individually deals with pressure different, as I said, but I try to stay away from it. I try to not read it. I don't avoid it, but I don't read it. I don't listen to it. Do my job, come to work every day, be professional, do what I got to do to help this team, so I don't have to feel that pressure.
Thanks, Mel.
Thanks.
Thank you.
AD, first, just about your foot and your health in general. How did you feel tonight versus the previous couple games, and kind of what's your expectation as you continue to manage it for the final 3 games?
A little more sore than normal tonight. Swelled up a little bit tonight in the course of the game. It is what it is. As far as final 3, I don't know. Not sure yet.
Depending on those games, right, you'll finish somewhere around 40 games played, and we've been over this at times throughout the season, the disappointment of not being out there for your teammates, AD. But how much does that factor in when you just think about this whole season and the disappointment now officially being out of the play?
Just like I said the other night, disappointed that we haven't had a chance to have our full team. Whether it's myself out, LB out, other guys. It's the most disappointing thing. Not sure how good we could have been, but for myself personally, 2 unfortunate injuries that kept me out for a while. It's a significant part of the season, and as one of the leaders on the team, especially on the defensive end of the floor, where guys need me the most. wasn't able to be out there. Sucks for me, sucks for our team, our organization. Got to recap now and see what's next.
AD, what did you envision with this group? I mean, health, of course, but like, what did you envision when you guys hit the floor and started training camp with 6 Hall of Famers, you, LeBron, Russ? I mean, there's just so much, talent, so much, such pedigree. When you kind of imagine what that was like, contrast this now, how do those two things kind of reconcile? If you can take the injuries out of it, which I know is a huge concern.
You can't take the injuries out, but championship. First put the team together, first coming to training camp, everyone's healthy. I think maybe TA probably wasn't the only one, but our goal was to win the championship. I feel like we had the pieces, but injuries got in the way of that, and that was a difference in our season. I think even though we lost games where all of us was on the floor, me, Bron, Russ, I think we were 3 great players, but we would have, figured it out. If we lost more minutes together, but we weren't able to do that. It makes it tough, to be able to compete for a championship when your 3 best players haven't logged enough minutes together. So it's unfortunate, but like I said, we got to recap and figure out what the rest of the season looks like, and then what the summer or the next year look like.
Okay.
The terminology we hear from Rob when we talk about this franchise is that both you and LeBron are stakeholders alongside him when it comes to personnel moves. And the reporting that we've heard is that you and LeBron were also involved in the construction of this team. And the team injuries took the chance for us to see what it would look like. So, because you had faith in putting it together in the first place, you want to see it play out further. And is there any wisdom in staying kind of with the core that's in place and trying to buy some patience and hope for help?
A lot of our guys, I think besides maybe 4 or 5 are on 1-year deals. So that's a personal choice for those guys. Like I said, when we put this team together, we had championship aspirations, and once again, injuries got in the way of that. But I think you would love to see. I think the world would love to see. We would love to see what this team could be if we were healthy for the full 82. Now if that repeats next year, we have the same team. Who knows? Like I said, we got to recap this season, what worked, what didn't work, and go from there. But I truly think that we could have done something special. Brian and myself, mainly me, were healthy for the entire season.
Five.
AD, a couple years ago, you won a team where the goal was to never lose consecutive games. You guys in the playoffs made that run where you didn't lose consecutive games. This year's team, I know you guys, especially after All-Star break, had a lot of trouble getting healthy, but is there some character component, mental component that this team lacked in being able to win some of these must-win games that you guys described yourselves?
That championship team, the guys were healthy. We had our closing lineups, we had our starting lineups. And we had more this year. We had more starting lineups than we have wins. So, we can't. I think that's like I know it's repetitive, but the health thing is most important. Like we try not to lose back-to-back games. That's been kind of like our mantra the entire time I've been here. But where you're not healthy and guys who are not starters or not used to starting starts, or guys who used to playing 15 minutes, play 30 minutes. Like, the mindset is different. You when you have a full team, sometimes you don't play with certain guys. You don't have that chemistry, and now you're playing with them, 30 minutes, 35 minutes, and you're trying to build that chemistry in game, and especially late in the season where you don't get as much practice time. So, you never want to lose back-to-back games. That's kind of been our thing, but health's kind of got in the way of that.
AD, you got traded here 3 years ago and you won a title that first year. We've kind of talked about it, and then been a lot of disappointment since then. I'm just curious personally for you, how are you feeling right now? It's angry, it's disappointed. What are kind of the emotions that you're going through, knowing kind of the high you were able to experience here, and sort of 2 years now unable to kind of recapture it?
Anger, disappointment, knowing what it takes to get to that championship level. And the last 2 years we haven't been able to do that. Last 2 seasons, rather, we haven't been able to do that. Mainly me being off the floor. So before I never point the finger at anybody, but I always look at myself and what can I have done to help the team. So when this season's all over, I reevaluate myself every season, even after we won, and just see what I can do to help the team. Championship year to repeat, and then the year that like last year to get back to that level. But haven't had the time to really process it all, to be honest. Disappointment for sure, especially with the team that we had. Like I said, we really felt like we could have done something special.
Last question, gentlemen, back.
AD, I know there's a lot going into this game, with the importance of trying to win and get into the play-in tournament, but especially against the Suns, the storyline last year was if you were playing and you could have beat the Suns in the first round, but then going into this game, how important was it to get this win against the Suns and prevent them from getting the 63 wins? How much did that motivate you?
I didn't even know that they had an opportunity to get 63 wins. We was more focused on ourselves and getting the win to keep our playoff chances and play-in tournament chances alive, and not trying to stop them from getting 63 wins. Congrats to them for doing that, but our focus was trying to just get the win to keep our season going, not preventing them from getting 63 wins.
Thanks, Eddie.
Whole season, but now that it's official, if you have any additional thoughts or summarize your feelings at this point.
Extremely disappointed, disappointed for our fan base, disappointed for the Bus family, who gave us all this opportunity, and we want to play our part in bringing success to Laker basketball, and we fell short. We eliminated tonight, and I can say it's not been due to lack of effort. We have all put in the work. Our guys stayed fighting, right until the end. I know we have games left, but in terms of being eliminated, it brought integrity to the process. We just fell short, through a disjointed season. So we're all disappointed. All disappointed.
Kyle.
Were you guys aware by halftime of the stakes of this game?
Yeah.
Did it affect either way?
We've been playing for our lives for the last 5, 6, 7 games. So didn't change anything.
Frank, what did you, to the extent that you can share or feel comfortable sharing, how did you address the team after this one?
I'm gonna keep that private.
Yeah.
Frank, this year's been just an emotional grind for yourself, or so many guys in there. Over these last sort of 7 games, has there been time, like, I know you didn't want to, has there been time to reflect to think like, how did we end up in this position? How did we get here? Because considering the talent that's in that room, considering the pedigree of people who were part of this program 2 years ago when the title was, right? Any of those thoughts kind of as
Of late, my whole thought process has been centered around winning the next game and staying alive. So no, not really.
Dave?
Right, your first season with the Lakers, the team goal of not losing consecutive games, and you did pretty well with it. Where you stand now, you guys haven't won 2 games in a row in almost 3 months. And what's been the extreme change been like?
It's just a different team. You know, without getting into a lot of the details of why, that was a very different team than we have this year. You know, and I would say that if LeBron and AD played 15 games together that year, we would have had a similar year than we're having right now.
Any more questions for Coach?
Yeah, just how do you manage these final 3 games?
We'll see. You know, we'll meet with front office, our players, and the coaching staff, and just kind of see, see what's best for our group. But finish out the season with pride, and like I said, bringing integrity to our process.